Hey guys, welcome back. All right, so this is another fitness vlog, another training vlog. Now, you've noticed if you go back for the last like 30 something days, almost 40 days worth of training, I've been in an off season. Now, I am officially bringing myself out of off season and I'm gonna start my on season as of today. And the reason that is the case is because I have finally settled on a date with another event, and I'm pumped up, ready to go. So if you want to know what that event is, stay tuned towards the middle part of the video and I'll tell you what event that is up next. Otherwise, today you're going to be joining me on a training session in my backyard in the Gross Valley, and I got about 15 kilos of weight on me at the moment. So this is a ruck that I'm doing tonight. All right, so a weighted hike, a weighted walk. I'm all about the foundations of my training at the moment, building into my timeline, which is set for middle of April 2024. Whoa, this is not my only event that I'm going to do, but it feels good to actually have definitively decided on an event. It is an event that I've already done before, but I want to go back with a vengeance and fix a lot of the issues or a lot of errors that I had made with this event. I wonder if that cues you into what event that could be. So I'm going to go over in this video as to reasons why I do this rucking, why I'm out here today doing a hike when my goal is running. My goal is long distance running, but why start? Wow, would you look at that? That's the Gross River right there. That's the Gross Valley. Never gets old. Absolutely never gets old. I'm gonna go over reasons as to why I think rucking, hiking and walking as part of my running program, particularly in the early stages of my timeline, super duper important. And I'm going to give you three reasons, or three major factors as to why I tend to do it and highly recommend it. But you can join me today on this one. Now, I just wanted to sort of mention as well, before I get too deep into the video, is thank you so much to so many of you are watching every single day, or every couple of days when these videos come out. It's nice to be finally doing something that I'm actually enjoying myself as well. I've always had a pretty negative sort of relationship with social media. I just haven't really ever liked it. Don't know if I still do, but I like that I finally have been open and honest with everything with you guys. So and it's nice just to clear away all the bullshit, like all the highs, and show you guys some lows. So if you're enjoying along, hey, I'd love for you to put a comment down below, just so I know that you are watching, and if you are, who you are. And look, hey, if you have any training goals or anything like that, put them down. I'd love to have a conversation with you down in the comments. I know a couple of people have been commenting, so if you are watching, jump in on those comments and say hi for me. Okay, so I'm gonna make my way down to that river as part of my hike today. So the kilometers aren't gonna be very big, and I've got 2 hours. Now I've already done 20 minutes, so obviously an hour 40 to go, and then I've got to be in the car en route to work. So it's about 7:20 now, and I'll finish around that 9 p.m. So I've got my head torch in the backpack, and then underneath the backpack, which has about 5 kilos in it as well, is about a 10 kg weight vest, which is what I'm carrying today. So about 15 kilograms is what I'm carrying. So it should be good on the legs. And all I'm doing is working on my aerobic zone, obviously with a little bit of weight. So a little bit of strength in the legs, a little bit of specificity when I'm out here on the trails, because the races that I'll be doing next year are going to be very trail based, bar from the one that I'm going to be talking about in a couple of minutes, which is my first major event to 2024. So warm, and I'm into it. So it's Thursday here. You guys will be watching this on Friday. Like I said, just finished work at 7 p.m. So I've been doing this for about 25 minutes, just under. And I'll go to 9 o'clock, and then I've got to go into a second gig for the evening until Friday, and then back into all my coaching calls on Friday before the day's over. So I've got a pretty big night ahead of me. That's pretty normal for me now. So I'll get this done. This is kind of like what I would classify as my break for the day. And there's a major reason why I'm deciding to walk and not run. So if you're interested, make sure you stay tuned and I'll tell you reasons why. And then I'll go over what my plan is over the next couple of months. All right, I'll meet you down at the bottom. All right, so I've just made my way down that, which is a pretty hairy track. And I'm just gonna make my way down to the water in this snake infested river. But truth be told, this is what I love, doing weird shit like this. The river's quite high by the looks of it, obviously with all the rain that we've had. Now I'm gonna dive into, let's talk about this rucking that I'm doing, which is obviously hiking with a weighted pack. I think the number one reason, oh look, this is not number one reason, this is just a really good reason that I highly recommend people to do a lot of walking. Now, if you're a client of mine, if you're someone who wants to get into running, long distance running, or any sort of form of endurance, so that could be on the bike as well, is walking is it's the foundation of your fitness. If you can't, if you can't walk, you know, efficiently without getting sore, without there being a lot of fatigue, you're not gonna do too well when it comes to running. Let's have a look at this river. We're gonna go more over that in a second. Put that there. Yeah, river's super high. That's cool. It's a bit too close. So because this is the base, this is my period of time within my timeline of training, because I'm working on foundations, walking I need to make sure that I'm very efficient at it, because when it comes to trail running, and I just think this is in running in general, you've got to have a really good solid foundation for you to be running off, whether that's to deal with the amount of time that you're out there or just the pounding on your legs. Like, to be running takes a lot of impact on your knees, on your ankles, and if you haven't built your system up efficiently, just usually running spits people out faster than they see results, which is really disappointing, because running is so fantastic. Like, it's good for you, it feels good when you do it, but it can also feel really bad if it's if you do it wrong, or you've started running too early than what your body's actually ready for, which I know a lot of people do, and it's really disappointing when that happens, because you're trying to get into something and then your body's like, nah, you can't do that, which is quite frustrating. And then it not up there, and then it pulls you back from your training. So not only is it walking that's really, really important. Now, obviously, I'm not a new time runner. I'm pretty seasoned, to be honest. But even someone like myself will go back to a phase where I focus on, when I do my long form, so longer type training, I'll still start off with these sorts of hikes, or maybe I'll run with clients more, because it keeps me slow, keeps me, not to say that to any clients, but that's obviously is what it is, right? But I know that it controls my pace to just a different degree, slows me down. But hiking when I'm on my own is a little bit faster. But just to add that little bit of extra difficulty, adding a weighted vest, like I can get kind of a combination of the two, of resistance training, but also really good aerobic training for my heart and lungs. So I think the biggest, or like I said, one of the major things is just injury prevention. Allows me to build up my volume, but allows me to build it up very safely without sort of getting too caught up on my splits, my running, am I improving, am I getting faster, and all that sort of stuff. And when it comes to trail running, the amount of time that you spend running and the amount of time that you spend hiking up hills or even down hills, like any of you watching that do trail running, you know yourself how much we end up walking. So it's a good reason. Now, another reason is it allows me to take a bit of a chill pill without my running being the predominant focus all the time. I get a bit caught up on things like splits and like zones and paces and threshold and efforts and all that sort of stuff. And when I throw this sort of training in, not only do I seemingly enjoy it, like how do you not enjoy this? I just get a bit too fixated on with that real, that training, and I lose sometimes the, I don't know, not passion for it, but yeah, that little bit spark. Whereas, because this is what I love to do. This is me in my element right now, yeah. And the good thing about it is it reduces my focus on what my pace is and what my intensity's at and all those sorts of things, but it allows me to build some really good fitness. And this is something that I will recommend to a lot of clients, especially those who have lost a lot of weight, is add some weight back onto your shoulders and get rucking, which is obviously what I'm doing now. Now, it doesn't need to be in the bush like this. It could be just simple. Could be around the streets. So, number two reason, or at least a secondary reason as to why I recommend walking and rucking, takes the pressure off your training and allows you to go a little bit slower, but you still get a really good fitness benefit from it without needing to run all the time. All right, I'm gonna get through this and I'll see you at the third one. All right, so I made it down to the river. Oh, so nice. Check that out. So down that way is Richmond, Yarramundi, and up that way is Bell, past Vilpin and Lithgow sort of way. It was a couple of years ago, probably now, that I traversed all the way from Mount Victoria, and we managed to get to Bilpin, and then we had to pull out because it just took us too long. But there's no track along there. There's an old track called the Engineers Track, but it's like almost non-existent. Funny little story. I'll tell you quickly. Right, me and this other guy, we went out for a run, and we attempted to do this route, which is the Gross River, and from top to bottom. And we're like, right, okay, babe, tell the wife, all right, we're gonna start running at about 7, running, hiking, all those sorts of things, and I should be back by 8 or 9 o'clock at night time, right? So we're gonna be out the whole day. Anyway, I'll tell a long, really long story into a really short story, is that was a Thursday morning at 7 AM that we started. We got home on Friday afternoon at 5 PM. So you can imagine what an amazing story that was. Anyway, I'm probably getting a bit beyond what I was going to talk about in this video. Now, the third reason or just another reason as to why I think rucking is so good is I think it's super duper good for weight loss. And now this is not just rucking in itself, it is just steps in general, walking, power walking, is because you can expend a lot of energy out. Let me just get up there. Oh. You can expend a lot of energy out, and it doesn't push your body to a point where you get overly in need of a calorie return. So what I mean by that is that the more aggressive the calories out are, so like think HIIT training, running training, really aggressive, high outage of calories, the body, when you're trying to lose weight, it'll want that in return pretty quickly. A lot of people that train too hard actually have a lot of issues with trying to control their diet and control their appetite. Whereas walking, focusing on steps, doesn't have to be, rucking, but just steps in general, really allow you to accumulate some calories out or some expenditure at an easier rate. But you'll be surprised, 1, how long you can go for, and 2, what it does to your body composition. There's something about, well, I already know there is something about it, but without going into too much detail, there's definitely something about keeping your heart rate low, not exhausting your body too dramatically, and going for more distance. That really does help weight loss. For clients that are supposedly too busy, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. At the end of the day, you got to make that choice. That don't make time for walking in their weight loss journey. They really struggle, or tend to struggle, with their weight loss goals. It's not like, bulletproof, like anything. Everything's a bit of a tool. But yeah, clients that I definitely notice, I definitely notice clients that do some good, consistent walking. They have high steps throughout the day, and they probably accumulate at least a few hours of walking on every single weekend. They tend to do a lot better with their weight loss goals. And one of the reasons that I think this is the case is obviously you get a huge calorie burn, but it's that urge that you don't get from the body once it's done, meaning that you're not overly exhausted, meaning that you can probably get up the next day and do it again. And 2, you don't get this huge response from the body to go, we've had this huge energy output, slippery by the way, if you can't tell, huge calorie output, and the body's all stressed from this massive training session, and then it forces your hunger to be erratic and uncontrollable. And that used to happen. That used to kick me up the bum all the time, which is just stupid amounts of hunger. Go back 2 videos ago, I already explained it. It wasn't even running, it was paintball, and I'd stressed my body to a stupid level, and I had 3 days of mass fatigue and mass hunger. Now I've got a 3 kilogram weight loss goal at the moment, trying to trim up a little bit, Like, if I get those sorts of urges, then there's no way I'm gonna get there. So that's a big, I think, a big proponent as to why walking is so important. So if you're there following on, or maybe you're even a client and you're not doing as much walking as you think that you should or you could, it just goes such a long way. I cannot stress that enough about walking. It is just, I don't know, it's just something that we're supposed to do. Like, we're supposed to trek, we're supposed to walk. They're very slow. You know, some would argue we're meant to walk really slow, and then very randomly and every now and then you're designed to sprint. But, you know, whether that's required or not is not the case. But if you want to be lean, you want to drop off some weight, once walking becomes redundant for you, add a weight, you know, start rucking, start getting some weight on your shoulders, and you don't necessarily then have to go to running and you know, because I know a lot of people either don't like running or running doesn't like them. So rucking is a great alternative, that's for sure. This is so cool, by the way. I think I've slipped over it 4 or 5 times already. Like, you see how calm I am, and this is me training. This is me training for pretty big events, actually. And it just starts like this. I think a lot of people get daunted about their training, overcomplicate things, and the foundations are the best. Look at me, sweating. It's very humid, actually. I don't think I've ever had any reception down here before. Oh, look at that. I wonder if there's any of you following on that enjoys the outdoors like I do, like this, because this for me is just, I don't know, there's something about it. I can't get enough of it, and no matter how much I'm out here, I still want more. There's just something good for you about it. I don't know, I know I'm blabbling on, but I guess if you're following me in this, you're probably already converted anyway, but oh, there is something very special about hiking, about being in the bush and just having a little mini adventure. Like, this is a tiny little adventure that I'm doing before work. All right, so I don't know if you're going to be able to see me all too well, but I'm going to take you up this hill that I have come down. And really the only reason you're going to want to watch this is maybe just to hear me like struggle going up a hill. I don't know what the angles are going to be like. Probably pretty rude. Hope I don't fall over on camera. This track is actually pretty gnarly. And the first time I ever did it was at night time with only the torch on my phone to get up. It's amazing what 15 kilograms do to your legs. Like, I can feel, my heart's all right, well, I mean, it won't be in a second, but like, I can feel my legs from the downhill with that bit of extra weight. So if you're watching, this will probably go for another 5 minutes. Just of me in a little bit of hurt locker. No, not that bad. But heart rate's up. I don't know what everyone else is doing on a Thursday night. Might turn you guys around. So this track just goes up this little water path, little gully kind of thing. And it's just sort of rock hopping. Alright, so I'm at 8:05, so I'm gonna get up this hill, and then whatever time left I've got to still ruck for the 2 hours that I gotta do, and then get in the car and jet out of here. Path is not too clear, that's for sure. Wonder which way. This is good. I don't know if you can see that little reflector on that tree there. That's as good as the signs get for this off the beaten track. And it's a speck of an old sign. There's another one. You can only see it with a head torch on it. Oh man. I've certainly lost a bit of fitness since my Bricks Backyard Ultra. That's alright. Gives me motivation to get back and further beyond that. It's kind of what it's like training, is you sort of go through these ups and downs, but in general, if you keep working at it, your lows aren't as low as they used to be, and your highs get higher than they used to be. If that makes sense. And that's kind of what I'm at the moment, like, oh yeah, 15 kilos on top of me. This would have killed me a few years back. Well, it's good now. And I'm definitely not, there's a little arrow there. I'm definitely not as fit as I have been, but that's what an off season is not for, but an off season's for a break, for a breather. And to have a chill pill before you level up and you set another goal and you go again. Oh, this is sick. That's cool. So easier, we're going up that, but you sort of just work your way around, like constantly zigzagging. That's a bit airy. Oh, we're close now. I don't think it sort of shows the steepness of this climb, but it's a long way down there. Sweet. Whew. Fucking nice. That is always a bloody good feeling. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That's sick. All right, I'm at the top. 8:10. 50 more minutes, rock back, and that'll be me done. Happy Thursday. Thanks for watching. See you next time.